Hey guys, this is What If Izuku Midoriya Deku was Kryptonian Part 2 Reboot. Now, let's just say Deku finna be clapping some cheeks. No pause, full Diddy. Let's just dive right into it. So, I am walking around right now, maybe because it's a hell of a lot of noise in my house right now. Right now I'm just like kind of speeding through, but I'm gonna take my time with this because I love this fan fiction, and I made it over like a few years ago, or about a year ago, and honestly, this is one of my favorite ones I've made. So let's just dive right into it. What if Izuku Midoriya was Kryptonian? So we started the story off last time we left off, as Izuku would have basically been in the storage unit with his mom, as his mom would have told him that he wasn't human. His mom would have been basically pressed by Izuku asking him, "What do you mean I'm not human? Wait, I'm confused." She goes on about how we found you as a child in some sort of ship, and ever since we have been kind of confused on what you were. We knew that you had powers, but we didn't think it was nothing more but a quirk. But when we realized how strong you were, and after the incident between us when you were younger, as Izuku would have kind of gotten a little bit sad by this, and yet again, Mom, I'm sorry. She would have said, "It's not your fault. You were a child, and you didn't know your true strength." She would have gone on about how they knew, since his first ability was, I guess, emerged, they knew that he wasn't like any other child. He had powers, and he never was sick. He never got hurt. He never ever felt any type of pain when he was growing up, and it was honestly peculiar. And you never really needed any type of special care when you fell or you scraped your knee, because every time you fell or got hit by a ball or fell off the monkey bars, you never cried, not once. It was like you were numb to the pain. At first we thought it was something wrong with you, but then we realized that you were more powerful than anybody I've ever seen, maybe even more powerful than All Might. And that's when we realized that you've fallen from the sky, your extraordinary abilities, and how you've never felt sick a day in your life, or even became sick a day in your life, makes me realize that you're not from here, Izuku. As Izuku would have been like, "So I'm an alien? Hold on. So tell me aliens are real, and my whole life you guys have been lying to me?" She would have gone on about how it's not lying. We just wanted to keep you safe. We didn't want you to feel different. We didn't want you to feel like you had to hide who you were in this world. In a world full of powers and extraordinary abilities, you're normal, Izuku. You don't have to hide. We just thought now, since it's a very vital part of you growing, we need to tell you the truth. We need to tell you who you are. Your father's away for some days, and he told me to tell you. We were gonna wait, but we knew that you need to know now. Izuku being confused, saying, "Okay, so I'm from a different planet, different world. So what does that mean? What do I have? What is my limits? What are my limitations? Do I even have limits? Can I even die?" As she would start to have confusing questions about who he is and what he is and what he can do. As she would eventually told him that it's up to you to look for those answers, and maybe this pod can give you those answers. It's I guess a key in there. And when you were a child, we brought it to you. You were a kid and it glowed. We were scared, so we put it and we locked it away. But now, since you're older, you're stronger, you can think for yourself now. It's time for you to examine it. It's time for you to figure out where you come from, and it's your journey to take. But I'm always going to be here no matter what, Izuku. As she hugs Izuku and he hugs her too, crying, and we get a emotional scene. Izuku walks over to the pod after his mom walks off and drives away, telling Izuku to come back home safe, as she kisses him on the cheek, saying, "Be safe, okay, darling? Okay, baby?" as she walks away. Izuku looks at the pod and closes the storage unit door behind him, not locking it, as he takes out his camera and starts flashing light on it. Or takes out his phone and flashes the light on it. He starts examining it, and he looks around at it as it basically scans him and says, "Alll detected. Last son of Krypton." As he's confused, saying, what the hell? What's Krypton? As a pod pops open a type of crystal, as the crystal starts to have a hologram and basically shows him a destination, coordinates. As Izuku's confused, saying, what is this place? Izuku thinks about it, and he's really intrigued. Izuku grabs the crystal, puts it in his back of his pocket, and looks at the rest of the pod. As the pod opens up, and it's still big enough to fit Izuku, surprisingly, Izuku gets in the pod and starts to mess around with it. And the pod starts to basically not malfunction, but starts to start up again, sensing kryptonian DNA in it as it boots up. As Izuku's confused as a diamond or the crystal ripped out of his pocket into the keyhole and basically pushes it into overdrive, flying Izuku through the containment unit or the storage unit, flying him all the way to those coordinates as he passes sound barriers and goes beyond speed. Him, in a matter of minutes, about 10 to 5 minutes, is all the way in the North Pole, the South Pole. I don't know which one the Fortress of Solitude is at, but he finds himself in the pole, or the North Pole, South Pole. As he looks around, he's confused on where the hell he is, and it's really cold. But his body starts to adapt to it slowly, as he feels mainly not any cold anymore, but he starts to walk around. As the pod starts to shine a bright green light, as eventually Izuku's appeared in a giant crystal place. As he looks around, as the pod is at some sort of base docking area, as he looks around, it's a huge diamond place, a huge diamond fortress mansion, kind of like Elsa's Tower, but a lot bigger and better, filled with technology and trinkets through Krypton. As he looks around, as the Kryptonian base starts to open up and starts to slowly boot up and lights start to flicker, Izuku seeing the magnificence of it and being completely shocked and in wonder. As he looks around and he sees some sort of robot as it rushes towards Izuku. Izuku dodges out the way as the robot starts to blast at him, as Izuku tries to tell it to stop, as it basically stops, scanning Izuku, noticing that it's the last son of Krypton. The bot stops and says, "I am your personal servant, a robot from Krypton, sent here to protect it." As finally a Kryptonian, the first Kryptonian he's seen in years, is here. Izuku's confused, saying, what's going on? The Kryptonian robot brings Izuku to the docking area, or the basically giant room of crystals, the room where Izuku's real father's consciousness lies, his robotic consciousness that was scanned before the death of Krypton. As Izuku grabs a crystal from his pocket out of the pretty much shit from earlier that he grabbed, putting it in his other pocket, as he puts it into the ominous Kryptonian like House of L shaped crystal hole that the crystal resembles, and he pops it in there as a huge hologram of Izuku's real father appears, it looking like basically just, I guess, the animated version of Kal-El's son in Superman's Adventures Superman, Krypton's son, father, whatever, Mon-El, I think it was his name. Not Mon-El. Mon-El is Model is Izuku's name. Ma-El, I think that was Kal-El's father. But Kal-El's father, basically, Izuku's father looks like Kal-El's father, just with green hair and a green beard. Kind of like the same look that Adventure Superman's father looks like, just with green hair. As he looks over to Izuku and tells him that I am your father. Izuku's confused, and the Kryptonian consciousness of his real father explains to him that he is his father and that he is here to show him his lineage. So basically a couple hours go by as Izuku's basically told about the history of Krypton and how it was destroyed and how it was many things going on and how it's either was a outside source or their own damnation and their own bringing of their own destruction of their planet. Izuku's very much confused, but he eventually tries to ask more questions about what he is and what he can do. He takes him to a medical base in the Fortress of Solitude and basically tells him that this is where we mainly did our experiments, or not experiments, but our bringing back of our troops, saving them from hypothermia or being hurt or being wounded in battle. And he basically scans Izuku and tells him that his anatomy gives him godlike powers, and Izuku says godlike, as he says that he will have extraordinary abilities far beyond any humans on this planet, as pretty much when Monel was activated, or Madel, or what Monel, basically Izuku's father, was activated, he basically scanned the entirety of every single satellite and basically dish around human Earth, around planet Earth, knowing basically everything about it since they've been in, hibernation away from the world. He's scanned everything and knows basically everything about the world and about how quirks work, and about how the world is in disarray, and how the world is at a halt with politic stuff and also hero stuff. But he basically tells him that the powers that he has are extremely extraordinary and far beyond any ability on this planet. People will give you problems, but you are a god amongst men, and we sent you here so you can be safe, so you can be a hero. Your power, our people, have always saved and helped. With your abilities, the gravity around you is lighter. You're able to fly. You're able to push the boundaries of physics on this planet. Krypton's anatomy, Krypton's gravity is far stronger than Earth's, giving you extraordinary speed, strength, and durability in flight. Other abilities allowing you to absorb the rays of the solar radiation of this planet of the yellow sun. Gives you the abilities of laser vision, X-ray vision, thermal breath, and other abilities so farther beyond your comprehension. As Izuku is completely and utterly shocked, saying this is awesome. Izuku is told a little bit more about Krypton's culture, but eventually he's told that he should head home before UA starts, since he has about 3 hours to get ready for school. Izuku being shocked, saying, how long have I been here? As he basically says that you might want to go now, as Manel did scan all of Izuku's scheduling and everything about him being in UA school, and basically told him to go now before he gets late to school. As he flies off, and Izuku is basically given coordinates back home and where he is. As he flies off, him basically getting a little bit of tips about how to really truly fly and how to get better with his flight. As he flies off and goes supersonic, him eventually finding his way to Japan. He flies down and gets dressed in his uniform and basically flies down to UA and flies down through the window in the bathroom of the girls' bathroom. Basically looks around before anybody can notice him. He super speeds out of the room and basically finds himself in class. As he's kind of really sweaty, but he kind of just brushes it off, saying that he just was late to school, telling Bakugo that leave him alone, as Bakugo kind of tries to press him. But we see that, Aizawa's there, but he kind of gets interrupted by All Might. All Might walks in the room and basically tells the class that they're going to be doing combat training. Izuku basically signs, saying, Jesus Christ, they could have done this another day. I'm tired. As he would have thought this. But we see that All Might tells them all to get ready and put their hero uniforms on. Izuku did write down what his uniform, or what he wanted his hero costume to be, as he basically is given a briefcase, as everybody opens up their briefcase, seeing their hero costumes, and Izuku seeing his. Izuku's hero costume would be something like this. Not too basically advanced just yet, because his beta suit is going to be a lot better, but this is just his made up and his put together suit he made last minute, as Izuku kind of sees that it's kind of reminiscent, as he did use a signature or a crest he had when he was a baby, because when he was a baby he had a red blanket that had the House of L on it. So Izuku used that logo and gave it to the hero company to make his suit for him. And basically we see that he pretty much give them his blanket, hoping they would do something good with it, as the blanket was basically sewed to the back of his suit, making it into the cape. As Izuku is honestly really happy, as his suit came out perfect. Izuku puts on his suit, and instead of the boots being there, it would be the tennis shoes, it would be Izuku's red boots, and the jeans would be a lot more of a darker blue. But Izuku would be super happy by this. Izuku getting ready and getting super pumped by this, as everybody walks over, and everybody's kind of actually kind of impressed by Izuku's originality with his suit, as he basically said, what is the S for? Super? As basically Izuku says, I'll tell you later. As he walks away, as he basically is walking off, as he's interrupted by Momo. Momo talks to him for a little bit, saying that you didn't call me last night or text me. As basically Izuku says that I was kind of busy and I'm really sorry, as he starts to get really flustered. As Momo says I'm pulling your tug and I don't really care. But I just want to make sure you're okay because you kind of started texting me and then you vanished off the face of the earth. And you've been acting strange today. As Izuku says that I'm okay and that I'm just kind of tired right now. But All Might comes up behind him saying, tired? You might want to get a little bit more hyper, kid. We're going to be doing combat training, like I said earlier. Everybody's going to be basically teamed up in 4, 2 of them being heroes, 2 of them being villains. And you guys are going to go up against each other. If you're knocked out, you're out. If you're tied up, you're out. If the other opponent grabs the bomb, you're out. Hero team wins if they grab the bomb and take down the villains. And villain team wins if they take down the heroes. So, let's start it. As Deku is still teamed up with Ochaku, as Ochaku talks to Izuku for a little bit as they try to make a team plan against Bakugo and Ida. As Izuku's talking to Ochaku and basically tells her that I kind of have a plan, something of a plan, as she basically is told by Izuku to go over there and try to basically, I guess, distract Bakugo as he comes up behind him and takes him out. As she's basically takes his plan and says, okay, I got it, as they walk off. As it's kind of an undertone relationship between them. Not undertone relationship, but they Ochaku kind of sees a little bit of heroism in him and kind of finds him attractive. But honestly, I'm kind of over the place. I don't know if I should lean towards making Izuku fall for Momo to be his main ship, or should I have him just be a hoe? Like, should I just have him be a hoe? Come on now, guys. Should I have him be a hoe? Or should I have him just go for Ochaku or Momo? Since Momo kind of already openly likes Izuku. But, like, which one should it be? Or should Izuku just straight up pull a Drake and get with Mount Lady? I don't know, guys, but, like, let's just dive back into it. So we see that Izuku flies around the building, and basically he's flying around the building's window as he's kind of levitating and losing focus a little bit, but he flies away, where he flies around the building as he basically peeks through one of the windows as Ochaku confronts Bakugo and basically tries to get his attention. Bakugo knows better since he knows Deku probably just won't let a girl go up against him. Bakugo knows that he got stronger and that he knows for a fact he can take on both of them. No problem. As he gets ready to fight, as basically, but we see that Izuku goes on to basically fly through the window and catch Bakugo slightly off guard. Bakugo throws a huge explosion as it pushes Deku a little bit off course, but he still grabs Bakugo by the collar and throws him through a wall. Bakugo gets up from the pretty much damage and kind of coughs up a little bit of blood as he throws a huge explosion, side blinding Izuku. Izuku gets fallen off his rocker or his balance as Bakugo grabs Deku's cape and basically yanks him into a pillar. Deku gets back up as Bakugo throws another explosion, and just for contents, in part 1 I talked about how Bakugo pushed his body a lot harder in his continuity to keep up with Deku's growing strength when they were kids. So basically he's a lot stronger, and his top explosion is equal to an atom bomb. So Bakugo is kind of OP now, but not too OP to a point where some of his continuity or some of his problems still do arise, as the whole fight scene between them later on in the anime, with them fighting each other after some sort of, I think after the Force Training arc, shit really gets real because they are both stronger. But we see that Izuku and him start to fight it out, as eventually Bakugo throws another explosion from the feet and basically starts fire bending, basically starting to compress bending. As basically he starts to dodge out the way, as Izuku eventually throws a huge gust of wind, basically using his strength kind of like All for One, or One for All, kind of using his strength like One for All, mimicking the wind pressure moves, as he did pick this up on after he saw Midoriya train with All for One. Oh no, One for All. One for All, he would have seen Midoriya train with One for All, and basically mimicking the wind pressure moves and the power moves that basically Midoriya was training on. So he basically mimics the Choice Smash and throws Bakugo through a bunch of pillars and almost knocking Bakugo clean out. Bakugo uses a last resort and basically pulls both of his gauntlets, throwing up another explosion while the gauntlets go off, and basically pushes Deku through about 16 different pillars in different rooms throughout the entire building, and almost pushes him outside the building. Izuku lands right against the last wall before he falls out of the building. Izuku's basically falling off from, or basically grabbing on by a barbed wire, or a basically rod in the middle of the building's integrity, or I guess field, as he basically is about to fall off the edge. Izuku flies up and basically lasers Bakugo down to the ground as Bakugo is knocked out cold. Izuku flies over as he's kind of, a little bit injured, as he coughs up just a little bit of blood and his nose starts to bleed. He wipes it up as Izuku isn't peak kryptonian strength just yet, since his powers are really starting to manifest slowly. But we see that Izuku basically starts to run up, as he starts to run up the stairs alongside Ochaku, as Ochaku and Deku starts to run up the stairs, as Ochaku kicks down the door, and basically Ida hits her with a mean left knee. I mean, hits her hard. I mean, you can hit the middle sound damn type meme, bro. That shit hit her fucking face. She's out for the count. She got boxed. But she gets hit down to the ground, and she basically gets a mean bruise on her face. She gets back up and is pissed off as she throws a mean left hook. I mean, straight up punches him like a freaking man. Like she punches him like prime Mike Tyson. Lucky shot, but still. And straight up knocks the knocks the crap out of Ida's mouth, and basically giving him a mean left hook. Ida gets sent down to the ground as Ida gets back up by a Spider-Man kickflip as he throws a huge left kick towards Izuku. Izuku dodges out the way, grabbing Ida's leg and chucking him into a nearby pillar. He super speeds to the bomb, about to grab it, but Ida hits him with a Ziprial burst straight to the face and knocks Izuku into another pillar. Izuku gets back up and says enough playtime as he grabs one of the pillars, pretty much rubble, and chucks it towards Ida like a freaking football, as he basically knocks Ida clean straight out, no diff. As basically Deku wins, and everybody basically, the hero team wins basically, as basically almost kind of impressed by Izuku's strength and determination, but also was very mad at Bakugo going incredibly dangerous because he did pull both gauntlets. And if you've seen the anime, you know the gauntlet explosion is freaking huge. But Bakugo did pull the gauntlet both times, both arms, as Bakugo is about, let's say, 20% more durable than a human body, as he's not like freaking bulletproof, but he is more durable and his bones are a lot more stronger and capable, so he can basically withstand maybe like a 20-foot fall without any bone damage. But yeah, so Bakugo's explosions don't really hurt his body too much, but he does still have limits. Bakugo isn't limitless. His powers still do have limits. And basically what I said about the whole atom bomb thing in part 1, he can basically recreate an atom bomb, but he needs about 2 hours of sweating to make that explosion happen. And also, if he does make that explosion happen, it's basically like a self-detonation. He just dies. After he throws out that huge explosion, he just dies. His body disintegrates. He's not freaking invincible. For you to make that amount of explosion from your sweat, from all parts of your body, making an atom bomb recreation, you literally would just kill yourself. So he basically can self-detonate himself if he wanted to. But we're not going to kill Bakugo off. So what would happen is we would see Bakugo would have lost, him being really butthurt, about to just box Deku up after the ring because he's really just butthurt. But Bakugo does get a couple broken bones as he goes to recovery girl and gets healed up pretty quickly. Now, I'm going to leave it out here, guys. So, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hope you guys like and subscribe. And I soon might be introducing some Superman villains. And if you know exactly what's first Superman villain I should introduce, go down in the comments. And I'm really asking this from the bottom of my heart. Before I end the video on, I need somebody in the comments to talk about the video. Because, let's be real here, none of you guys talk about what actually the video is about. Let's be real here. None of you talk about what the video is actually about. But should I do Momoya Yorozu or a Chaku ship or something else entirely? Or should I, and that's one question, but what should be Izuku's first villain from the Superman franchise he should go up against? But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Like and subscribe. As always, guys, have a blessed day. Deuces.